Hey everybody, this is Stuart with Wine on the Dime, and today I'm reviewing, well, someone asked me to do an Arneis, and I found one at my local grocery store for under $15, so that's a good start. So today I'm reviewing the 2020 Briccotondo Langhe Arneis. It is a 2020, as I already mentioned, 13% alcohol by volume, and I paid under $15 for it. I threw away the receipt, forgot to leave myself a note, so I don't remember the exact price, but I did get it at my local grocery store. First of all, screw top +1, and let's take a look at this wine. So those of you who aren't familiar with Langhe, it's in southern Piemonte, which is in northwestern Italy. So it's the southern portion of the northwestern portion. The whole region makes great wine. But I don't know how this one rates. I've never had it, so let's take a look. So from a color standpoint, I'm going to say you're a pale lemon, no artifacts, no cloudiness. All right, so on the nose, whoa, up front, lots of lemon. Lots of lemon and green pear. Woo, lots of lemon. Woo, I was like a lemon oil in a way. It smells semi-astringent, very, very pungent. Swirling around, there's a little bit of a green apple. Going in deep, there's a very little bit of almost like, have you ever, now honey has a sweet note to it. If you've ever had mead, which is basically honey gone fun because someone decided to ferment it into a beverage, you can still get some of those honey notes, but it doesn't have that same kind of sweet kick on the nose. You kind of get this dryness on the nose. It almost smells like a mead. And there's like a little bit of a nut, like an almond, just a little bit of an almond. Anyway, so how does it taste? So in terms of the wine, it is dry, almost off dry. There is a noticeable amount of residual sugar on the palate, but it still presents itself more on the dry side than having a little bit of that kind of the slightest hint of sweetness. It almost is kind of like it's playing with it, almost like mead. Almost like mead. Speaking of that honey presence on the mid palate is very strong. Going into the finish, stays pretty strong. That lemon really shows up in the approach, is good all the way through until about maybe 5 or so seconds into the finish. That green apple, strong all the way through. That nuttiness, it kind of weaves in and out. So I got it the moment I tasted it on the approach, but then it kind of went away. Then as the mid palate was starting to run in to the finish, that's what it showed back up again. Overall supporting character, not a super strong note on that. Alcohol right now tastes like it's, if I could give a medium plus for alcohol, I would. So I am going to say medium, but it almost feels like either for some reason it's not fully integrated because it's a little bit of a separate component, or this is just for some reason presenting as like really hot on my palate tonight. So in terms of finish, medium finish, body is medium plus acid. It's a pretty clean smelling wine, like in terms of like there's no kind of like, it feels like there's not really any secondary manipulation on this. And if they did do something, they kept it extraordinarily light because I'm hardly detecting it. Yeah, that almond, it's like if you were to get sliced, raw, peeled, shelled almonds. Like just that white meat inside an almond with nothing else done to it. No salt, even though this does have a hint of salinity. No salt, no roasting, no anything. Just that raw kind of almond. And like I said, it's there, supporting character. It kind of adds a nice little touch of complexity, but overall this wine isn't too complex. So with all that being said, how does it rate? We don't know until we get to the blick. So from a balance standpoint, I'm going to give you a full point. Now we'll say if the alcohol was less integrated, I'd give you half a point. It's tolerable, and especially if you're going to be eating this with food, it'll be perfectly fine. You won't really notice it that much. In terms of length, medium to finish, half a point. Intensity, forgot to do it this time. So good on the last video. It is medium on the nose, medium, I'm going to say medium on the palate, except for that citrus. That citrus kind of is high, but that's just one element out of all, so I'm going to say medium across the board. And in terms of complexity, I'm getting some citrus. I'm getting a lot of citrus. I'm getting a little bit of that honey note. I'm getting that almond, and I'm getting the green apple. Since there is kind of a little spattering of things, I'm going to go ahead and give you half a point. I don't expect any tertiary whatsoever, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be expecting secondary. And like I said, if I was getting more of a toasted almond, a coconut, other type of spiciness, then I would probably assume that there was some sort of secondary treatment, but I'm not really getting it. And yeah, so I'm just going to leave it at that half a point. So in the end, I'm going to give you good. I don't have a lot of this specific varietal, even though Piedmont is one of my favorite regions for wine. So I'm going to definitely keep my eyes out for more of it. So if you have had this wine, or if you know of a similar Arneis that's just as good or better, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, this has been Stuart with Wine on the Dime. If you liked today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Have you had the Briccotondo Arneis? I'd be interested to know if you have. Leave a comment below, and I'll see y'all again soon with another review from Wine on the Dime. Now I'm going to explore this wine a little bit more while I edit the video. Cheers.